When you're standing in the hardware aisle or scrolling through endless Amazon pages, the biggest fear is ending up with a set that looks great on the photo but turns out to be a hassle in real life. You wonder if the chairs will stay comfortable after a summer of BBQs, whether the table will survive the winter freeze, and if the price actually reflects something that will last beyond a single season. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The POLYWOOD Braxton dining set is trying to position itself as that all-season, low-maintenance answer for families who want a place to gather outdoors without the constant worry of rust, splintering, or fading. It comes as a 6-piece ensemble, a rectangular table, 2 armback chairs for the special seats, and 4 side chairs that keep the line looking even. The design leans into a rustic farmhouse vibe with a clean, contemporary's back silhouette, and the seats are contoured with a gentle arch that's meant to keep you from slumping into a wooden slab after a long dinner. What I found most useful to think about is how this set fits into everyday routines, not just into an Instagram shot. Imagine a Saturday morning where the kids are doing homework at the table while you sip coffee. The table's height is standard for dining, so you can comfortably reach for a notebook or a plate without feeling cramped. The chair's arched backs give a bit of lumbar support, which is a small but noticeable difference compared to a flat plank. When you move from a casual breakfast to a weekend dinner party, the same seats can accommodate both a kid's plastic bowl and an adult's wine glass without feeling out of place. One of the practical strengths of the Braxton set is its material composition. POLYWOOD advertises that the pieces are built to endure a broad climate range: hot sun, snow, rain, you name it. The resin-infused wood composite is designed to resist UV fading and moisture absorption, so you won't see the tabletop turning a bleached hue after a few weeks of summer exposure. In my own experience with similar composite outdoor furniture, the biggest complaint is usually warping or rust spots. This set sidesteps those issues because there's no metal that can corrode and the wood isn't prone to swelling. Another everyday advantage is the built-in umbrella hole. The tabletop has a 1.625-inch center opening, which is exactly the size you need for a standard patio umbrella. That means you can add shade without having to drill a hole yourself or buy a custom table. The umbrella itself isn't included, but the accommodation is there, and that small design decision saves a lot of hassle if you already have an umbrella or plan to buy one later. Now, the set isn't without trade-offs. First, the weight. Because the composite is dense enough to survive harsh weather, the pieces are noticeably heavy. One adult can manage the assembly of a single chair, but getting the entire table onto a raised deck or moving it into storage for winter may require a second pair of hands or a dolly. If you live in an apartment with a balcony that you need to clear out regularly, that extra mass could become a practical annoyance. Second, the finish options are limited. Right now the Braxton set comes in a slate gray that leans toward a muted charcoal. It blends nicely with both light-colored decks and darker stone patios, but if you're hoping for a pop of color or a lighter wood tone, you'll need to look elsewhere. The design is deliberately neutral, which works for many, but it also means you're committing to a specific aesthetic that might clash with existing outdoor decor. Another point to consider is the cost relative to alternatives. While I can't quote exact numbers, the set sits in the mid to high range for outdoor composite dining sets. The 4.4-star rating from 36 reviewers suggests most owners are satisfied, but a handful of those reviews hint at the weight and the lack of an included umbrella as minor drawbacks. If you're on a tight budget and don't need the climate-proof guarantee, a simpler metal or teak set might stretch your dollars further. However, if you've already burned through cheaper sets that needed repainting or replacement after a season, the upfront premium could pay off in longevity. Who should buy this? If you have a permanent patio, deck, or garden space where you intend to keep the furniture year-round, the Braxton set makes sense. It's especially appealing to families who host regular meals outdoors, to anyone who values a low-maintenance surface that won't need annual sanding or sealing, and to homeowners in regions with harsh winters who want a set that won't crack when the temperature dips. The built-in umbrella hole also makes it a good match for those who already own or plan to buy a standard patio umbrella. Who might skip it? If you live in a rental situation where you need to move furniture frequently, the set's weight could become a burden. If you're looking for a bright, statement piece with a bold color, the slate gray